Air-Clips.com.
Good morning, guys, from Ardmore in New Zealand, close to Auckland. Behind me, this is beautiful old lady Betsy, a 1944 built former US Air Force DC-3 or C-47 if you will. But I don't want to miss my chance to welcome our hosts here today, Jessica and Jeff.
Hi.
So the two DC-3 owners, operators, however we put it. Everything. And we will fly now momentarily over to
Whitianga.
Whitianga.
Folks, very warm welcome. We'll get away to Whitianga in just a few minutes. Can I introduce the team here, please? Andrew Cronin's with me this morning, and he, in fact, is going to be flying you over to Whiti City this morning. Just very quickly, we'll get underway. A little less than 20 minutes across to Whiti City this morning. We have to climb to 3,500 feet to climb over the top of the Coromandel Ranges, and no sooner that we've done that, then we have to pull the power off and glide down the other side, basically. It is a lovely fine day over there at the moment. Like Auckland, they're anticipating perhaps stronger southwesterly breezes later on this afternoon. You've got free seating. We're not doing seat allocations this morning, so row 1's at the front, row 8 at the back. Row 8's are reserved for our extra flight attendants, and the rest of the aeroplane is yours to see fit. Shall we go? Let's do it. And all clear starboard we are.
Clear starboard, yep.
Oil pressure's rising. Hydraulics are good and vacuum's checked. 54.
Yep.
And all clear on the port side. Oil pressure again. Relax. And we'll go out and taxi down Juliet. It's quicker than going across the ground a long way.
Yep.
I'll just get you out of here, Andrew, while you're doing that, and we're on our way.
Okay guys, lining up the runway now, super exciting, fantastic sound, the volume, can feel it in your stomach, the vibrations of the engines, absolutely fantastic, and I'm looking forward to a beautiful flight now. Wonderful weather, yesterday was still bad weather, really lucky today, looking forward now.
Bit of wind there now?
There is.
A little bit.
Ardmore traffic, Dakota 46 rolling runway 21 vacating on the downwind 21 for Woody. Looks clear over there on the Coromandel.
Yep. Always does, doesn't it?
So guys, here we are for our first ever DC-3 Dakota filming on airclips.com. Beautiful, just beautiful. Now we're going straight over the bay. Can be seen on the GPS. I'm going to show that to you in a moment. And then on the other side there should be, you know, another skiing coach waiting for us. Of the big bay that is ahead of us?
The Firth of Thames in here, and it's very busy on the other side with mussel beds.
Oh, okay. So Jeff, which aircraft have you been flying before in your aviation career?
Well, I started originally, I went into the Air Force at the tender age of 16, but and I wasn't old enough to aviate at that point in time, but my dad, who'd been in the Air Force and who was at that time occupied with a top dressing company, so aviation was in my blood, so to speak. So I went into the Air Force at 16 odd, and I did training initially as an airframe mechanic. And after I completed that course, I went out on a squadron to the helicopter squadron, 3 squadron at Hobsonville. And I did about 2.5 years there on duty with working, doing maintenance on Iroquois and Sioux helicopters, plus we had a Harvard and 3 Osters as well. I went to Wigram and did my wings course. I did about 180 hours on Harvards, or the 86, and from that our multi-engine training was on to Havilland Devons with about 250 hours. Graduated there at Wigram and got posted to 42 Squadron DC-3s.
Fantastic.
How about that? Dakotas, as they were known in the RNZE. And I'll just do the cabin signs here too, since we're getting a bit.
Alright folks, you can put the seatbelt sign on again. We're just going over the top of the Coromandel. This is where we get our thermal. So put your seatbelts on and we'll dive down and be landing at Oceania in a jiffy.
One of our beneficiaries of this aeroplane passed away some years ago, and we scattered his ashes in the bay here out of this aeroplane. We were down, and he owned a Miles Messenger, and that was flying around beside us. We need to go down just a bit further, Andrew.
Yep.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah.
Halfway.
Don't listen to me.
I normally do.
Half a set.
Just trying to get your speed back.
Yeah, no, that's good now, yeah.
Have a look. Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a sou'wester down there.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more southerly, in fact, by the look at that.
To the left, yeah.
22, on 22. Flaps travelling. Needs another mow. We'll get airborne out of here at Whiti City. We're going to have to take off, of course, to the southwest because of the prevailing wind, and in fact it's more southerly. There's a bit of a crosswind here at the moment. And then we'll go down over the city and out through the bay, and we'll go north up to Ongapua Harbour. And for those of you on the right hand side seats, you won't get to see much going northbound, of course, because you'll only see the Mercs and a little bit of terrain as we get up the top end there. Then we're going to swap over and come southbound down the coast, and those of you on the right hand side, of course, will get to see Kautunu and Matarangi and all those good places up the Opedo Bay. Andrew Cronin here is going to be flying you today, so blame Andrew for anything that is not to your satisfaction. We have with us today Patrick from Hamburg, and as I explained to the people in Ardmore, he's been tested 5 times, been in isolation, MIQ and isolation, and had his 5th test yesterday morning, and he's going home to Hamburg tomorrow and he'll have another one. So he very kindly explained to us that his nostrils are now, about 3 sizes bigger than they were when he arrived. Who's going to be at the door today, Jessie? Jessie's going to be there, and she'll be saying, mind your head, for those of you that are a bit taller. So you have been warned. Anti-bangs on the booster pump.
Clear starboard.
And turning. All pressure hydraulics and suction.
So 34 people on board, full house, and once the other aircraft is gone, we can taxi all the way down the runway, and you have to have a look. You have to have a look at on the right side, our right side, as we taxi down. There are marvelous houses right next with a garden, right ending up in the runway.
Right, you start a gradual slow taxi.
Yep.
You have control brakes.
Control.
Delta into Romeo, deck 46, we're just starting a gradual taxi from the terminal. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Pawanui, just down 30 miles down the road, is the same, with lots of airplanes and hangars, the same thing. Yeah, it is for some people.
Yeah.
This is actually owned by the Mercury Bay Air Club, so it's privately owned airfield.
Yeah. There's a wee circle there.
Yeah. good.
You all ready?
Yes, sir.
07,
And
30 inches.
please. I'll just leave a bit of power on there for a minute. And the after takeoff checks are complete, the aircraft is clean. Some beautiful scenery down here, Patrick. Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely awesome.
There's a beach just down around the corner, hot water beach, so there's warm water down there. And there's Cathedral Cove, which is very well known as a gorgeous place where you can go swimming in the hole and, you know, the cave and the gorgeous.
So, where did we start? Where did we stop in your career? 79, I guess.
Yeah,
huh?
when I left the Air Force, yeah.
It looks like we'll just kick you in your seat, folks. It's just the odd bump. And I think we'll just kick you in the seat and looking out the windows. If you want to come and have a look at the flight deck after we've landed, you're very welcome to do so. In fact, that's probably a good time because Patrick won't be in the seat taking video and film.
Yes, yeah, it's stunning, and there's some gorgeous photos here, opportunities with the hole in the rock. Back there further, we'll get one on the way back. Oh, you'll get it on film anyway.
Absolutely.
Gorgeous.
Air-Clips gets everything on film.
Yes. So with that, I left the Air Force under a bit of a sour note. They did condescend to give me 10 hours to keep my licence current. And I did do a little bit of flying. I went to Fiji a couple of times.
Oh, nice.
But there was nothing much in it. And I went off into the Air New Zealand. It just changed then. It was NAC back in October the year before, but August 79 it was Air New Zealand. And I started on the good old Dutch butterbox. The F-27, and back then Air New Zealand had the 100 series and some of the original F-27s. Yeah, I did 2 tours on the 767, and then I went to the 747-200 as a first officer. And I did 4 years on that, and then I went back and did my 737 command. And I wasn't on that very long when my 76 command came up.
This beach here is called New Chumps, and it's, I think it's one of the nicest beaches in the country.
And I was on the 777 for 10 years as well. And went to UK and Frankfurt, and we had some big tours. You know, we sometimes went to the UK or Frankfurt for 7 days. I didn't do much work on the 747-200. In 4 years, I did only about 1,400 hours. And in the first year I was on the fleet, I did 43 days at work. The next year I did 39 days at work. You can see it now, look, the hole through the bottom. Just sit forward a bit, Andrew, sit forward a bit. And we're waiting for cabin clearance and the wheels.
Cool. And speaking of the wheels, gear down please.
That'll save that horrible graunching sound.
Yep.
There we go. Here's travelling speed measurement. Dakota 46 is short finals to land runway 22. Down at 32.
We got down a couple of times there.
Yeah, we've recurrent all in one hit.
Couple of landing fees, yeah.
The wheel in that big hole in the right hand side again. Good afternoon everyone. You know, Jesse and myself, Jeff, we're members of the Fly DC-3 Syndicate New Zealand. Just to give you a bit of an insight into our airplane, it's affectionately known as Betsy, and we have a principle of when we arrive first thing in the morning we say morning Betsy, and when we leave last thing at night we give her a tap on the door and say good night Betsy as well.
So perhaps we should show you around our aircraft.
Come with us, Patrick. 2 Pratt & Whitney 1830-92 radial engines with some 1200 horsepower, twin row 14 cylinder engine, and a fully feathering and constant speed propeller of course fitted on the front as well. We do have the capacity and capability of flying in instrument flight conditions, and you'll notice there's a number of aerials and antennas fitted both on the underside of the aircraft and particularly up on top of the fuselage as well. We fly low and slow,
yeah,
is our motto. So that's our favourite saying, and we generally do it for the benefit of sightseeing. And the other thing is that the aircraft is, you know, designed to be down low and let people have a good look around.
The other thing too that we've found, apart from doing scenic flights, is because New Zealand is basically closed off from around the world, we have so many corporate groups now wanting to charter us. So whether it's coming over here or going and having a very flash lunch somewhere, so we're getting more and more charters, so we're keeping really busy.
So looking down the cabin from the forward end, you'll notice that the interior of the fuselage is very symmetrical in that there are no luggage racks or overhead racks at all, and the airplane has had this headlining in the whole time that we've owned it. This is still the original headlining. In behind the wall linings it has all proper aeronautical soundproofing. It also has fully lined with carpets, and the airliner seats that you see fitted there are from a 767. Just a little bit of timely entertainment we have, you know, when we're flying around the city in Auckland in particular. It's quite nice to have a bit of Vera Lynn just emanating from wartime music in particular, coming from the speakers and giving people that sort of sense of we are flying back in time. So we're fortunate to have had that, and that was a part of the entertainment system refurbishment and update 18 months ago. Through the rear here we have a little boys room and a little girls room. Pretty basic. It has an aircraft battery powered, it's more like a portable toilet for a caravan or the like, but it does flush and all that stuff. It has its own self-contained tank under the floor, and that gets emptied periodically at places where we won't tell you. Little hand basin in here. We trust you have enjoyed the presentation. You know, we've had a bit of fun giving it to you, and we look forward to perhaps having some of you come fly with us. And as our motto says, fly back in time, and we hope you will be able to do that with us.
Sorry, controls down.
We'll just do that when we get around.
Yeah. Heading traffic, Dakota 46 is lined up, 22 will be rolling in about 30 seconds.
Okay, here we go, 30 inches on the brakes.
Heading traffic, Dakota 46 rolling runway 22. We'll be turning left into the downwind before left again, heading north.
But if you have a second, I would like to learn a bit about your career as well.
Yeah, just go that way, Jeff. You're doing good. I started down in the South Island. Just started off doing a bit of glider towing and scenic flights around the mountains and whatnot. A couple of years ago I got an opportunity to join Air New Zealand, actually. So I thought about it for a bit, quite a big call going from the left seat, being a captain, to starting at the bottom, being a second officer.
Yeah.
But I did it, and as Jeff was alluding to before, I went on the 777, which is an amazing machine, and the route structure with Air New Zealand, just pretty neat lifestyle. Just a lot of time in Los Angeles, Vancouver, Houston, up to London, Asia. Yeah.
Since it's a bit boisterous at the moment.
Okay guys, now a super beautiful day is coming to an end here. We've just landed in Ardmore, 3 fantastic flights, and just before we leave the aircraft I would like to say a big thank you to Jeff, Andrew, Jessica and the entire crew for hosting us today here. Thank you guys, it was absolutely fantastic.
No problem, been our pleasure.
You're very welcome, Patrick.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to have you with us.
Hope
Thank you,
enjoyed
and
the day.
whenever you come to New Zealand guys, make sure to fly the DC-3 here. Down here is the link, off you go. Bye for now. Thank you very much for watching Air-Clips. Bye bye.
Bye.
Air-Clips.com.